And we are live. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to American Youth in the building yet again. And in this one, we're talking about several things. We're talking about Jamaica versus Honduras and giving our post match reaction. This game took place on Monday night. It's Wednesday afternoon now, so it's been a while. I've kind of digested, everything and, you know, thought about how I felt about how things turned out. And yeah, we just want to talk about it, put our 2 cents to it, put our voice to it and our thoughts to it. But then we want to also look ahead to the game that Jamaica will play in the CONCACAF Nations League quarterfinals. Will be playing against the United States, the mighty USA. So we're here to talk about it. And, it's one of those days where, people are not very upbeat about the performance of the team, even though, Jamaica still has moved on and qualified for the quarterfinals. They topped their group and qualified for the quarterfinals, but the fans are still left unhappy. And there are several reasons why there is some consternation, there is some unhappiness, there is some, just not uncomfortableness with the performance of the team on Monday night. So that even though we have qualified for that next round, that next stage, the fans still are a little bit meh. They're not like upbeat. After, being so upbeat after that Nicaragua game, we did so well in that game that, people were expecting a good performance. People were, predicting the lineup, but the coach didn't go with the lineup that we thought. He made some changes. He did some, played some players that we didn't think he would play, and we ended up getting the result that we did. The game ended in a 0-0 stalemate, and Jamaica walked away group winners on 8 points. And so they qualified as top of the group. And then Honduras finished second by getting that one that 1 point from that 0-0 stalemate, from that draw. They got 1 point. But over in the other group, I think it's the group A, because we won Group B. The team Costa Rica, they had an outstanding game against Guatemala at home. They blanked Guatemala about 3-0, and Guatemala was just shell shocked. They weren't able to stand up to the onslaught by Costa Rica, and so Costa Rica won that game. They also finished their group on 8 points, and they, because of a superior goal difference, and also because they're actually ranked higher than us, Jamaica, in the CONCACAF Index rankings, they end up being the best first place finisher. They're the best first place finisher, we're in terms of ranking, because they have a better superior goal difference to us. So it turns out that Costa Rica will face Panama in the game in the quarterfinals, and the Jamaica will play the USA in the quarterfinals. And several people I've heard talk about it. I mean, people are not as concerned about facing the USA in the quarterfinals as they are concerned about the performance that Jamaica gave at home. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know why why people are not concerned about who we face, because I am. But I think in general, the fact that you could watch a team like Costa Rica and how well they came out with those fans on their side, they came out peppering Guatemala's goal, and they ended up winning. They played like a team playing at home, But Jamaica, for some reason, whenever we play at home, we don't play well at all. And that is something we really have to investigate. I mean, there are several theories that people have out there as to why Jamaica don't play well at home. we don't know which one is true. One is that it's the pitch. The national stadium pitch is probably one of the worst pitches in CONCACAF, to be honest with you. It might be one of the best pitches in Jamaica, but it's certainly one of the worst pitches in CONCACAF. It doesn't, the ball does, it's not a smoother surface. When you look at surfaces in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Costa Rica, in the USA, in Canada, in Mexico, in Panama, you name it. Any of the teams in the top 6 to top 8 teams in the world in CONCACAF, they have better pitches than what we have in Kingston, Jamaica. Our pitch is horrible. So some people say that it's because of the pitch why Jamaica don't play well at home. Because most of the players that we have, they play overseas, and the pitches that they play on overseas are much superior to what we have in Kingston, Jamaica. So that's one contributing factor to the lack of positive play in Jamaica. The other contributing factor people say is that a lot of the players that we have are English-based and haven't even played 5 times at the National Stadium as yet. A lot of them are still very unfamiliar with the turf there. And so they don't really know, they don't get much of an advantage playing on that pitch as opposed to a team coming in from overseas playing on that pitch, because they're just not as used to the surface as they should be playing a home game, So that's another contributing factor. And then the other contributing factor is the fan support. This is what people are saying. The fan support. Yes, we're seeing a little bit more fan support in the stadium, which is great. Long may that continue. And hopefully, not only will that continue, we can build on the numbers. We can work our way up to a sold-out national stadium every time the reggaeboyz play in the stadium. But the truth of the matter is that when we're in the stadium, the fans don't really make any sound. Them kind of sit down and, now the thing is, the boys haven't scored a goal since this new push to get fans out into the stadium. The reggaeboyz haven't scored a goal. So one could argue that the fans don't jump and shout and support, because the truth of the matter is, no goal now score. So if no goal now score is like, what man, at least that's how we kind of look at it. We're not of that culture where, win, lose, or draw, we're jumping and cheering for our teams, and that is kind of the culture in Central America. If you go to Honduras, Costa Rica, Guatemala, even El Salvador, that's down in League B now, by the way. Those teams, whether or not their team is winning, if it's 0-0, if they're down 1-0, those fans are jumping and shouting and keep cheering on the team. So I don't know what it is, but I mean, people say it's either the surface is not good, or the majority of the players that under the reggaeboyz team, they're not familiar with the national stadium, plus the fact that the fans don't really cheer the team on. They're there to watch the game, yes, but they're really, most of the time, only going to jump into action when a goal is scored. So it's like, why is it that we play so horribly at home, though? We're kind of one of the only teams in CONCACAF that we don't really have a home advantage. When we play at home, it's not really seen as a home advantage. As a matter of fact, we play better away from home. How come we can go down to Honduras and beat them, but we can't beat them here inside the national stadium? That is something that we might need to investigate, because I remember at one point the national stadium was the office where, any team come to Kingston, Jamaica, they might not lose, but they're not walking away with a win. They're not walking away with a win. And that went on for years in Jamaica's football. For about 4 years, I think Jamaica was unbeaten at the national stadium. But no, that ain't the case. And that needs an investigation. It's sad. The fans are turning out, but them can't get a goal for cheer for. And we know how our culture is. We know how our people are. If the goals are not going in, people are going to feel very, uncomfortable to continue coming. So Look, so there are several things, you know, there's several reasons why we play so poorly at home. But you know, in general, I kind of wanted to get into that, kind of talk a little bit about the game. I'm not going to talk too long about it because it's in the past now. But some things we can learn from this game. In general, you know, the general feeling amongst even the coaching staff is that, look, we topped the group. That was the aim. We qualified for the quarterfinals. That was also the aim. Um, and so they're happy with that. Um, Fans are talking about the poor performance inside the national stadium, but a lot of people are not really necessarily discussing the fact that had we won that game, had we beaten Honduras, we would have likely faced Panama in the quarterfinals instead of the US. US is a tougher opponent. And if we don't get past the US, we're not getting to the semifinals of the Nations League again, which is not something I would like. I would rather that we faced Panama in the quarterfinals and then move on to play whosoever we get, whether it be Mexico or the USA, because you know them set it up the way they were, you know, regardless of, you know, the fact that you make it to the semifinal. If you're not USA or Mexico, you're going to play one of them. So anyway, let's talk about it for a little bit, like what I thought about the game. And I just put up these, you know, put this little thing together because, you know, I can't always remember what I want to talk about. So I just write it out just so that I don't forget. But I just think in general, Honduras wanted a result more than we did. Honduras wanted the result more than we did. And they played that way. You know, bird them are going wicked over there. Anyway, yeah, so Honduras wanted a result way more than we did. And you know, they played like it. They were faster to the ball when the ball was played. When we tried to make any passes to any of our players, sometimes, you know, especially in a long pass, whether the long pass was along the ground or in the air, they tried to jump ahead or get ahead of us to get to the ball before any of our players could. And you know, that kind of make that show that. Give me 1 second. The birds are really hope them done now. Give me 1 second. Yeah, those kind of shut out the noise right there. So, but yeah, I think they were just kind of faster to the ball, you know, and wanted the ball a little bit more than us, and it kind of showed. You know what I mean? I think we were a little bit too laid back, and me. I don't know if we were playing for a draw or we were just playing not to lose, or we were trying to win. I just don't know. But Honduras just kind of seemed like they wanted to move on to the semifinals or the quarterfinals more than we wanted to top the group as the best first place finisher. And I think that stuff like that matters, because if we lose to the USA, we're out. But had we gotten Panama, which we beat in the semifinals, or the third place playoff last time around, then we're looking better. At least we're gone to the semifinals. So I think little things like that matter. I think the coach made some questionable decisions. I mean, I have a lot of faith in this coach, though. I have a lot of respect for him. He's playing the type of football that I would like Jamaica to play, which is more on the front foot, more attacking. Even though we didn't do that against Honduras, I don't know why, but I think, you know, he wants to play a more attacking style of football. You know, I think he's genuinely looking to fix the midfield issue. He's bringing in people like Tariq McGee, Casey Palmer, playing both of them together under CDM, which I think is a good idea. Just never seemed to materialize much in the game on Monday. And now I hear rumors that Isaac Hayden will be coming for the next window. So that's another midfielder that is coming into the team that he's looking to fix that problem, you know. So yeah, just that's another thing. But then in addition to that, so even though I have so much faith in him, I just think that he made some questionable decisions by not playing Bobby Reed. I don't know if Bobby Reed is injured or it was an early decision that he would not play this game. So I don't know why he didn't play though. I it would be nice to hear an explanation why Bobby Reed didn't play, but he is such an integral part of the team. I don't see why he shouldn't. Taking off Norman Campbell was questionable to me. Like he was one of the better players on the park. So I'm not sure why he came off. He was playing good as far as I was concerned. But maybe the coach wanted something else. Maybe he saw something different and wanted to go with a different style. And then he substituted Demarai Gray too late. Demarai Gray wasn't given anything much. I mean, he hasn't really been doing much in his last few games. I think he could have come off at halftime, and that would have opened up the portals for the Cephas and the Norman Campbell to come on. Quite frankly, I think if Cephas and Norman Campbell were playing on the wings, that game, I think we would have showed a better, give a better account of ourselves. And then the fans, they are still left without a goal being scored or a win inside the National Stadium since the new push to bring back fans to the stadium. I mean, we haven't won a game, and we haven't scored any goals since McLaren took over the game, at least inside the National Stadium. And that's a cause for concern because, again, I know who Jamaican fans are. If you're not giving them anything to cheer about, you just might turn them off. So even though the turnout against Honduras was good, I think it was slightly less than the fans that I saw at the Cuba game. I think the Cuba game had more people, even though I hear rumors that the stadium was sold out again as well, but that didn't reflect necessarily in the people that were at the stadium. So I don't know. I think that is something that we have to try and generate a win inside the National Stadium to give the fans something to cheer about. And our next game is going to be November 14 against the USA. So that's going to be a tough game. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to get into the USA game and, Leon Bailey and who we'd like to see in the next window. But again, I don't know why is it that we play so poorly at home. I don't want to cast a negativity over the whole thing because at the end of the day, we did qualify for the quarterfinals and we did top the group. So, I mean, that's all you can ask for. So, yeah. Conrad Smith said, big up everyone, free Ravel, but we need more than him. Boy, I mean, I hear say Isaac Hayden is coming. I know there's a lot of, feelings out there about Isaac Hayden. A lot of people don't feel comfortable with him coming in because he made some comments about, playing for England until, he will always want to play for, even if he's in a wheelchair, some statement like that. Quite frankly, I'm not bothered by it because, I mean, guy was born in England, and I mean, he wants to play for the country. If a Jamaican said that about playing for Jamaica, I don't think people would have a problem with it. So I personally, I don't have a problem with it. But there are a lot of fans out there that seemingly have a problem with Isaac Hayden saying that. But yeah, we need more than Ravel. We don't know if Ravel, even though he's at a club right now, what fitness level is on and what form he's on and all of that. Will McGee come back? Does the coach still see a future for Tyreek McGee in the team? Tyreek McGee was pretty lost or pretty absent from the game, especially in the second half. But we were so ineffective in the first half of the game against Honduras. We never even took a shot on goal. So it's pretty that was pretty dismal performance. We're just glad whenever they really lose, but it was a dismal performance. But luckily we went through and did everything that we needed to do in terms of topping the group and also moving on to the quarterfinals. So Conrad Smith, thank you for being here. Sanjay Brooks, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. He said Bobby seemed to be injured. Cephas and Dixon came on and injected some energy into the game. Midfield was so poor and gave away the ball so much. Hayden and Greenwood are welcome next window. Yeah, good summary. I mean, as you can see, Dixon came on. He was the only one that kind of looked like he wanted to score. You know, I don't remember anybody else taking a shot to goal. You know what I mean? I Dixon alone. Cephas looked like he wanted to take on some players down the wing, which is what a winger should be doing. And they injected some life in the game. I think, it would have been interesting to see Norman Campbell and Cephas for the entire second half, as opposed to, what we had there before. I don't know why Norman Campbell came off. He was playing okay as far as I was concerned. So it seemed like Bobby was injured. Midfield, we need some work there, man. Like, we need to. I don't know. I don't hear people talking about McGee anymore. I don't know. He never had the best game, and it seemed like with the coach looking for Isaac Hayden, that he probably won't be going with Tyreek McGee much anymore. Don't know. Unless Hayden is a CDM, is a true CDM, but we'll see. Greenwood, is Greenwood coming this coming window? My thoughts were that he was going to either come in the November window or definitely our first window next year. So hopefully he comes this window. I think that is what we need because we're going to we're going to need him. You know what I mean? Like the USA, they get Pochettino. They just had hired Pochettino to coach. So, their team is going to be, beefed up by the coaching acumen of Pochettino, while also they're going to have all their overseas stars. They're going to have their Christian Pulisic, their Brendan Aaronsons, all of those players. So I want to also just kind of listen to the post-match press conference that they, I heard the coach, he kind of talked a little bit about his feelings on the game. I kind of want to just listen to a little bit of it and just talk about some of his comments. So I'm going to play a little bit of it and just, give my thoughts on how he's feeling.
Yeah, the target, the vision was to finish top. We had a bad start to the group, and a credit to the team, they recovered with away games and away wins at Honduras, away wins in Nicaragua, and everybody knew this game because of the Nicaragua game as well. There were three teams going for the two top spots, and I think you could see that there was a little nervousness and not a willingness to really take the game to Honduras. It was more we wanted to and felt like we wanted to control the game and didn't go forward with any tempo, any pace. There was no speed in the game, and we were. When you need a draw, the mentality can get in the way, and I think that did. I think we were, but we said at halftime we have to be resilient.
So you see, I don't know. Is everyone hearing that, by the way? Because I'm playing this from a phone. I don't know if everyone is hearing it. But if you did hear it, if someone could just let me know if they did hear that audio, that bit of audio right there. But what McLaren is saying pretty much is that he never saw any tempo in the game. It never looked like the team. It seemed like the mentality was just a draw. They weren't really going for the win. And you could clearly see it that Honduras just kind of seemed like they wanted things a little bit more than we did, and it just wasn't happening. Oh, hearing the audio, thank you, appreciate it. yeah, the Honduras just kind of seemed like they wanted it a little bit more, and you could hear it, you could hear it, you could see it on the field. Let's just listen to a little bit more.
We have to make sure that we get the result, and the key thing is the result. The key thing is we're top of the league, because after the first game against Cuba, we were under pressure. In Honduras, enormous pressure. Artificial pitch, hostile atmosphere in Nicaragua, under pressure, and the boys delivered. And whatever the game was today, they delivered. And the result today was probably more important than the actual performance. We can play better. We made too many mistakes. But without the ball, the recovery, determination to keep a clean sheet, credit to everybody for that. 11 defend, 11 attack. They all did that. We got the result. We topped the league, and we look forward to the draw after the games tomorrow.
Yep, all right. So I'm not going to play too much more of that. I kind of just wanted to hear the coach's general comments on it. I know that there are going to be some other questions asked on it, but you can hear what he said. He's generally satisfied with accomplishing the goal of getting to the quarterfinals, and then also getting to the get topping the group, getting to the quarterfinals. Generally satisfied with that, and as I say, you move on. You kind of work, build on what you have, and move on. And so we hear that they're for the next window, their players coming in. I hear Isaac Hayden. I am hoping Leon Bailey comes back for the November window, because we're going to need a strong team. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to be experimenting in this window like we were in this. We're not going to be able to experiment in the November window in the same way like we were experimenting in this window. So yeah, we definitely hope to hear that Leon Bailey is fit and ready. Looking to see if he plays at Aston Villa this weekend. I hope he is feeling better. He is recovered from the injury, and yeah. So Sanjay Brooks I heard a hint from Manning's band that Greenwood will make it for November's window. Okay. Seems like they're trying to keep it hush. JFF apparently has a new process to expedite a player's docs. Okay. Well, that's awesome news, because trust me, I can really think of if we get Leon Bailey and Mason Greenwood, wow. Just wow. And then Isaac Hayden come in, you might see a scenario where Demarai Gray have to sit down on the bench. So this coach has been ruthless in terms of getting. If this materializes, where we saw Mason Holgate, even though Mason Holgate never had a good game, he never had a good game. But I'm not going to be too harsh on Holgate, because this is his first game, first full start. So I mean, it's hard to play at the national stadium anyway. I mean, look at Casey Palmer. Remember Casey Palmer's first game at the national stadium? He never had a good game. So, I mean, I am willing to give Holgate a pass right now until he plays a few more games for Jamaica, and then I will kind of use that to judge, how well he's playing. But, for now, I'm willing to give him a pass. But if Isaac Hayden comes in, if Leon Bailey is fit, and if Mason Greenwood makes it for the November window, that would be awesome. That would be awesome, because, of course, Damian Lowe will be coming back. I know we're seeing the importance of Damian Lowe in the squad. A lot of people talk about Damian Lowe in not very good ways a lot of the times. Calling him a walking red card and all type of things. Damian Lowe is a stalwart for Jamaica. I mean, the guy has he played more internationals than Anandi Lowe know him father. You know what I mean? I mean, Damian Lowe is one of our outstanding defenders. So he comes back. You know, we see if we see a Casey Palmer, and you know, I don't know how Casey Palmer, Isaac Hayden. I don't know what the coach's feelings are on Tyreek McGee, you know, and Joel Latimer. They're playing there, but we see Greenwood, we see Liam Bailey. If those players come with Mikel Antonio and inform Bowser coming, then you know what I mean, we're going to be a very, very formidable team. All right. So let's read. R&R, big up. Thank you for being here. He said, getting the players is one. How can we mesh them in a system? Good. Yeah, that's true. You know, that's going to be the coach's responsibility and the coach's headache, really. Because unfortunately, we don't have any, there's not a lot of time. These games are coming quick and fast. So he has to use the time that he has to mesh them into a unit. And then at the same time, you know, get past the USA. If he gets past the USA, then you have a good amount of time between November and March to play friendly internationals, to experiment and gel them together before we you know, before everything, before we see them back in March again. So that is it. All right, so boss, how can these opponents move the ball so smoothly and we struggle to string this ball? Yeah. Is you know what I mean? Like, as I say, I don't know why it is that we play so horribly at the National Stadium. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. As I was saying earlier in the stream, is people are positing several different reasons why we play so poorly at the National Stadium. The pitch, even though it probably the National Stadium pitch might be the best in Jamaica, when you compare it to the rest of the surfaces across Central America, for example, and the rest of CONCACAF, it's one of the worst in CONCACAF. When you compare it to Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, you know, USA, Canada, and Mexico. When you compare the National Stadium pitch to any of those pitches in any of those countries, it's not on the top. It's not on top. It's not one of the best pitches in the country, in CONCACAF. And so a lot of those players coming from England playing overseas, they struggle on the pitch. They actually play better overseas, they play better away from home. Because they get better pitches to play on away from home than they play at the National Stadium. And so when we are at the National Stadium, we don't really get an advantage. That was something even Heimer Hallgrimson was saying a long time ago. You know, that we don't get an advantage playing at home because the pitch is so poor. You know, and we really need to do something about that. It's better than it used to be, but it's still not at a top. It's not at a top-notch level. When you look at the pitch that Costa Rica played Guatemala on last night, that's like a world-class pitch. That's comparable to like an English Premier League pitch. Our national stadium pitch is not there. You know, when you look at it by the end of the first half, the pitch is dug up. You can see all the dig upness in the pitch. It's just not a very smooth thing. So I don't know. They need to get somebody to look at that. But that's one problem. The other problem is that a lot of these English players are relatively new. So they don't have, you know, time together. They don't have time playing on the pitch on the national stadium. So it doesn't feel like a home advantage. You know what I mean? So that's another issue. And, you know, in general, we always have people coming in and out of the squad. So, you know, we haven't really gelled that much. Holgate had a bad first half versus Honduras, but he was better in the second half. Yeah. His first half wasn't good at all. D-Lo clock ticking. Well, yeah, he's getting older, but for now, he's one of our better. He's one of our better defenders. So yeah, I mean, everybody clock a tick at some in some way. It's the same pitch, opponents. Yes, it's the same pitch, but when we play away from home, right? In some areas, not in all. I will play well away from home in like you know, in Central America, you know. And that wasn't always the case. That was a relatively new thing. You know, we never really had much of an advantage playing away from home, and those pitches are good pitches. You know, so it's, you could say the same thing. You know, even Nicaragua will play on that AstroTurf. Even though we won that game, they had better ball possession, right? They had better ball possession than we did. We just had better quality players. We just had better quality players up front, better quality players in general. But you could see that they're playing like they're at home. We actually did have more possession of the ball than than Honduras in the game on Monday night. However, for some reason, most of that possession was in our half. You know, it wasn't in parts of the pitch that mattered, like in Honduras's half. So I know people always will play like a side back type of football. That's kind of what we were doing. You know, so you know, I just believe that the pitch played a role in it. But I get you. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same pitch, so we can't use that as an excuse. Sanjay Brooks said Honduras was more aggressive, had better passing cohesion, pressed better, etc. That has nothing to do with the pitch quality. For me, it's a mentality thing. Not enough players used to playing on it. Okay. I mean, look, I'm not saying the pitch is the only reason why we didn't play good enough, but I'm saying that some people are saying that that's one of the reasons, you know, that's one of the things. No, yes, they were more aggressive, they were faster to the ball, they wanted it a little bit more. And the coach himself said our mentality was kind of like we did just want for draw the game alone. You know what I mean? But I still think that the pitch can be a little bit better in Jamaica. We don't seem like we have much of an advantage when we're at home. If that is not a, maybe somebody can answer this question for me. Why do you think that Jamaica plays so poorly at home? What are the problems that you think we face that causes us to play so poorly at home? Because even when we beat Honduras 2-1, you know, we never really played all that well, you know. You know, not 2-1. Sorry, it's 1-0. When we beat Honduras 1-0 last Nations League, 1-0 in the national stadium. We never really played all that well. They actually played better than us, but we walked away with a 1-0 win. What is it about playing at home that causes us not to play so well? Would I love to hear what you think, Sanjay Brooks? Yeah. I don't know. So, do you blame Holgate for long balls? Is it coach's instructions? If not, why senior players not talking to him like Pinnock? I mean, honestly, the long ball probably came as a result of not being able to do anything with the ball in midfield. You know, I didn't really see any midfield play that much. The long ball is just something that, you know what I mean, like, that's just all we do when we play. It's almost like we pass the ball around the back, and then when we can't get anything in the middle, we try and pass it over the top to the forward players. Because the truth of the matter is, when we try to pass it in the middle, Honduras was faster to the ball than we were. You know, they were just faster to the ball than we were. And again, maybe we weren't really going all out to get a win. I don't know. But I would like to think that the fact that if we didn't win that game, there was a possibility that we'd end up facing USA in the quarterfinals. I would think that they wanted to go out hard for a win. You know what I mean? So that is why in my mind I was like, boy, them just need for, you know what I mean? Them need for step up the tempo. They need for get faster to the ball. They need for, you know what I mean, just look like they want it more, play like they want it more, play like how Dixon played when he came on. When Dixon came on, that was, you know, that was when you saw in life, Dixon and Cephas. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Like, the long ball thing is not it's not working, though. That much I know. The long ball is not working. We need to try and play the ball through the middle of the park. We just don't have players that, you know, that can control the ball under pressure in the middle of the park and not lose it. I think that is what we're seeing. Arnar said we need a practice game in England prior to the next game. Why? Why do you think we need a practice game in England? And that not gonna happen because there's no international break, for that. So you're not gonna get the thing. You're not gonna get that international break. Problem factor: humidity, spectator, and environment over wet field. Humidity, spectator. Humidity is always going to be there. The spectator and environment. Do you think the spectators were a problem? And if so, in what way were they a problem? And the environment, as I was saying earlier, we had a good turnout, but we didn't have people cheering on the team. That's one of the things we see in Jamaica. Like if no goal no score, you're not hearing the nice. You see me? Or if we're not lead, you're not hearing the nice. We need, have that, that atmosphere. We don't create that atmosphere. So yeah, I don't know if you're trying, R&R, are you saying that the humidity, the lack of spectator cheering, and lack of creation of a winning environment by the spectators was a problem? Is that what you're saying? Clarify that. Me hear what you say. Nigel Garden, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Yeah, man, people, and like up the chat now. Give me a like, man. Like, just hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please hit the subscribe button. But hit the like, please. Appreciate it. Sanjay Brooks, yes. You say, I think the players aren't accustomed to getting the Jamaican crowd involved in the game. The players don't understand the crowd. They are used to English crowds. Maybe the pitch quality doesn't help. Yeah, and that is what I was saying. Is like, what is it that is causing the play? What is it that causes us to not play well at home? Right? If you really do an analysis of it. And you're saying getting the Jamaican crowd involved in the game. How can they get the crowd involved? Because understanding the Jamaican crowd means that you have to score. You have to put the ball in at the back of the net. Right? When the ball is scored, you will get the crowd kind of buzzing a little bit. And then after a while, if you're making attacks, if you're piling your salad to man, then yeah, then we'll get involved that way too. But in general, like, I don't know how you get the crowd involved more than outside of them with it. You either score, pile and salad someone, or just overall win the game. Be winning the game. Be leading the game. That is how you get them involved, really. Not sure spectators are connected with cheering. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's not a cheering environment. Jamaica crowd is not a cheering environment unless you're winning. You see me? Unless you are winning, Jamaica's the spectator environment is not one of yo, we're gonna cheer on a team, win, lose, or draw. When you're looking at Europe, you'll see that. So that's why the English-based players, they're used to, even if them club under too love, their audience, their spectators are still cheering. You know what I mean? Jamaica, even if we not lose, everybody does sit down so and I wait for a goal score. And if somebody take a shot to goal, them I'm gonna get up and say goal. And if it's not going, then it don't listen. But then if him score, it's a goal. Bah, 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 bah. That's our culture. Isn't it? We only cheer when a goal score. Isn't it? We not cheer if, you know what I mean? Again, we can be putting some good passes together, but that have to involve somebody get salad, a man get pile. But otherwise, from that, the goal of a score, a ball of a score before we cheer. Now, once you score and you lead the game, you might, see the crowd kind of continue to cheer on for a little bit. But generally speaking, we don't do that. We are not a cheering culture in Jamaica. All right, the grass look overdamp. So but I say then that the pitch shouldn't be a problem. But on a kind of make my point, because to me, when the grass overdamp, it means that it's heavier on the foot. When you run on a surface like that, it's heavier. And so the ball doesn't pass as quickly. It no zip across the surface. Like how, no, I can understand somebody that say, well, Honduras play upon it and them look good upon it. Well, we had more possession than Honduras, but for some reason, we looked worse than they did. I think Jamaica had 61% possession and Honduras had 39% possession. But for some reason they looked a little bit better than we did. We just, what I mean, like when we get in the upper part into Honduras half, we just never, it just wasn't there, man. Like, so I think sometimes, like you were saying, Sanjay Brooks, like the pitch have something to do with it, the heat and the humidity. I mean, that is a factor that cannot be changed. I don't know if you're saying the heat and the humidity have a impact on how the pitch, at the pitch quality, but I don't know. I just think the pitch quality shouldn't affect if you're more aggressive and press hard, etc. I think the players just aren't accustomed to playing in front of this crowd. It takes time though. I don't know. So are you saying the crowd contributed to the lack of, the lack of energy that they played with, the lack of aggression that they played with? You think that the crowd just, because the crowd was a little bit, what word may I look for? They weren't as involved. They were a little bit disjointed or aloof from the game. Is that the reason why you think the team also played? We weren't injecting any life in the team. You might be onto something, because like I remember Demari Gray was saying how even playing in Honduras or Nicaragua, because their crowd was lively, they fed off the liveliness of that crowd, even though they were the crowd was cheering against them, even though Nicaragua was cheering against them. They fed off that crowd. You might be onto something. They're not sure how of reading the crowd. They don't know how to read the crowd. So, all right, then R&R, if you're saying the team doesn't know how to read the crowd, what is it about the crowd that they need to understand? What is it about the Jamaican audience that they need to understand? What is it that they are not reading? Right? Tell me that. And tell me, how is it that be specific as to how the Jamaican crowd is affecting the way that they're playing, because I think that is what you and Sanjay is alluding to. What is it about the Jamaican crowd that is affecting how the reggaeboyz play? If you can answer me that would be good. At club, songs be chanting custom-made songs for players. Is that what we should do? Football culture shock. And possession with purpose. Honduras 80%, Jamaica 20%. Are you talking about this game? Look at that. Because I think I saw, unless you're saying the stats, okay. See, there's Jamaica 61%, Honduras 39%. But I guess what you are saying is that if you're talking about possession with a purpose, Honduras possession was 80% more purposeful to Jamaica 20% purposeful. Is that what you're saying? Maybe that is true. But I would want to know, how is it the Jamaican crowd is affecting the way Jamaica plays? I want, I think I'm hearing you say there's a culture shock at clubs, songs, be chanting custom-made songs for players. Are you saying that the players are more used to the crowd cheering and the Jamaica crowd is not cheering, so it kind of affect the way how them play? Okay, you make up that number there. But no, but okay. So that's what I'm gonna say. I guess you say possession with purpose is Honduras is 80%. That was your thing. Okay, I got you. I got you. But yeah. Anyway, more switch a little to talk about Jamaica versus Jamaica versus the USA. Just kind of to look ahead to that. Look ahead to that a little bit. All right, let me see. See what you say. Sanjay say yes. I think the crowd affects how the team performs at home. Mr. Woolgate gave away the ball several times and the crowd wasn't feeling it. Maybe the crowd expects more from players. Yeah, but you see, yeah, that's the thing with Jamaica. Like, and I think, to be honest with you, that affected Omari Hutchinson too. The Jamaican crowd, the we cheer for our players or our team is very different from the way most players are what most players are used to. You see, in Jamaica, we are not used to cheering them on even when nothing is going on. You get me? We only cheer when something good happen. I will cuss if something bad happen. So, for example, when Omari Hutchinson played the Trinidad game, I think it was the second Trinidad game in Montego Bay, right? And he never really had a very good game. Everybody start cussing and say, "Oh, take him off! I want him to take off." You see me? In the year them thing there. That was the last time he played for Jamaica. You see me? And since then, Jamaica been a begging for come play, and I'm not come play. Now, am I saying that that's the reason why he didn't come back? He hasn't come back and play. No, maybe he genuinely has, um, an ambition to play for England, and probably is close. Feels like he's close to it, you know. But the thing is, the way we cheer as Jamaicans, sometimes it can affect them players there. And I think that's why you say, Sanjay, you say, Mr. Woolgate gave out the ball several times and the crowd wasn't feeling it. Maybe the crowd expects more from the players. Yes, but them think they affect the player them too. Because if they might come from an environment where you still get cheered, even if, you make one or two mistakes, then you come to an environment where, you not get cheered at all, until you do something good. And if you do something bad, you get cussed. You know what I mean? So the players might be the ones to answer that. Yeah, the players might be the ones to answer, but we still want to know what you think as a lay, a lay fan. What do you think are the big reasons why we play so terrible at home? Mark, they play for club. No, this is international, so the environments differ. Environments differ, but it don't seem to affect them as much when they play away from home. It's still international football they're playing, but they play well away from home. But when they play in Jamaica, they don't play as well. Why? Why? It's still international football and play good when they play away from home. But yeah, mostly English-based players playing, so the crowd will be more hostile towards them. So you think if it was a local-based player, so you think if the local, them would have been nicer? There might be a little bit more understanding, but if you have been to a few Manning Cup match, you know. You see me? Come on for the man, them feel like what kind of effort that you do on the feet, you know what I mean? Like a Jamaican culture that. You get me? We cuss when something go bad, we only cheer when something go good. But when none of them things that happen is crickets. You see me? We feel it's the Jamaican crowd cuss more than them cheer when we're at games. It's like we cuss more than we cheer. You see me? Our crowd cuss the man to lose the ball. Very hostile, even though it's the same people. Them clap. yeah. For real, man. Like our way of doing things is upside down, Richard. It's like it's either nothing, you get cussed, or if you do something good, you get cheer. And then our crowd will have we have our favorites like I think Kaim Dixon is a crowd favorite, but Tyreek McGee and Whisper. Can you imagine if an infam Whisper and an infam Tyreek McGee come play for Jamaica and start? Stadium are gonna ram because like them have them have a following in a Jamaica, a crazy following in a Jamaica. I feel it's a players like them they can get with certain things. Can you notice McGee never have a good game, but me not hear nobody cuss him. You know what I mean? Me not hear nobody say nothing about him. I mean, so old get we hear people that talk about and you know, and others, them are regret, you know. But nobody now say them should, you know, Tyreek McGee have a bad game. He never did have a good game. So Eagle Republic, bless up yourself. Thanks for being here. Say we have some delusional fans for real. Our fans them come out for watch the game, which I am very happy for, because there was a time when there was no fans in the stadium, or barely any fans in the stadium. But now we have some fans in the stadium. But when I cheer, me literally look and see, me literally see people still son and watch the game. I'm gonna say, yo, the man them get up and cheer on the team, no, like, you know what I mean? We need, you know, we need somebody for spray on the team. Who would you use as a midfield three in the USA game in November? I think Lati should bench. Lati, may I come to that? I'm gonna talk to that about that in a second. But like Lati body here now gonna really get benched, you know, because it seems like that coach I like him. Unless Isaac Hayden come in and you get Mason Greenwood, I can see that possibly. But even then, if him go with three midfielders, me would, you know what I mean? I don't know how you, if Isaac Hayden come in as a CDM, then you can possibly see him going with Casey Palm and Bobby Reid in the middle, because to me, Bobby Reid played a better midfield role than Tyreek McGee. I'm sorry. Tyreek McGee looked okay upon the wing, you see me? But Bobby Reid is the engine of this team. So I'm not see a place for him if Isaac Hayden come in, which is a specialist CDM. You know what I mean? Casey Palmer, Bobby Reid. If Mason Greenwood come, is Mason Greenwood and Leon Bailey. Them I agree would have to come on, and then Michael Antonio Arboza up front. So I don't know. Me can see why you would bench Lati, but I don't know if that coach I go bench him, because the coach has seen for rate him. So we'll see. So boss, playing pickup game in the USA with several other nations. Jamaica, spot on the park, load Costco. People think we at war. I true that. I true that. That is very true. I play pickup game, yes, I too. And the American, them always wonder if a fight will fight, for real, when Jamaicans play. Because we cost so much. I true. That is true. Yeah, man. Them always wonder if a fight will fight, or a cuss will cuss, or war go on. And that's for culture that the local pull the fans in the office. Or the local ball of them. Yeah, man. You put Tyreek McGee and Whisper pan a Jamaica side, stadium ram. Especially if them expected for start. Stadium ram. Tyreek McGee and Whisper alone can full West stadium. You know what I mean? Eagle Republic say, our delusional fans are excusing McGee's performance because of the surface, even though we got outplayed by Honduras on the same surface. Yeah, I say, I do kind of see the point with the surface still, you know. But Tyreek McGee didn't have a good game. I mean, not hear nobody say nothing about it. Everybody's silent about it. I them all regret them I say. Yeah, you see me, and Macy Wolgate. I them all regret Macy Wolgate them I talk about. You see me, some of them even talk about Michael Antonio, but can't believe that is still a discussion. You know, even the best forward we have right now, and people still, for some reason, think, you know, maybe him for sit down. Him can't get substituted sometimes, but him definitely is the best forward we have right now. But yeah, Tyreek McGee can do no wrong for some of our fans, man. That is like our Shorty Malcolm. You need that modded on the belly. It's funny because him not really come across like an aggressive person, but when you watch the game more while him do some things that make you have to wonder. Like when him kick down the brother, like the brother try, you know, when him do hand up wrong and think the ref they gonna call it in a Nicaragua game, and the ref never call it, and look on the ref and say, yo, you not call that. The ref say, yo, no, but not call it. Just get up and sweep with the man foot. And then walk away. That's we never know. Same of that in him. Kind of have the thing there in him way. If him head chip, you know, it's like him become somebody else. But anyway, let's look at it to Jamaica versus USA. And again, media say Me never didn't want this, I actually wanted Jamaica versus Panama. I was hoping that Jamaica would beat Honduras, get to 10 points, and then I was kind of certain that Costa Rica would have beaten Guatemala. There's no way they would have make Guatemala even draw the game there. But I was certain Costa Rica would have at least beaten Guatemala, and Costa Rica would have been on 8 points. Jamaica would have been on 10 points. We would have been the best group winner, and we would have been the one playing Panama, because I think we have a better matchup against Panama than the USA. But in listening to the coach and in listening to even some of the players, it seemed like the feeling is that, look, you know what I mean? We're glad to make it to the quarterfinals. We made our way here. You know what I mean? USA is I think glad about the say, yo, if USA, them they're the team that we want to play. We want to play them big team there. If you're a player, those are the games where you want to play. Those are the games I would want to play, yes, but I would rather get to the semifinal first. Then USA or Mexico bring them on. But now we have the USA in the quarterfinals, and we face a big task for beat the USA. Because, funny enough, the USA, they play well at home, but they don't play well away from home. You know, they even get beaten by Trinidad in Trinidad. Them get beaten by Guatemala in Guatemala. They don't play well at home. You know what I mean? They don't play well away from home, but they play well at home. They play really, really, really well at home. You know, so, but they face a Jamaica team that plays well away from home, but poorly at home. But our playing well away from home doesn't go to the US. Now, we pulled off a miracle last Nations League, last year in the Nations League, we at least actually this calendar year, because it was in March 2024, we actually beat Canada in Canada. Or no, it was November 2023, we beat Canada in Canada. Yes, so it was last year. So last year we pulled off a miracle and beat Canada in Canada. Can we pull off a miracle again and beat the USA in the USA? Big. That's going to be a tough one. USA always finds a way to eke out a win against Jamaica. Will this be the case again? Now, when I say eke out, I know say in the semifinal, USA ended up beating us 3-1. But if you watch the game, you will remember that Jamaica was leading 1-0 for majority of that game. It went overtime and even exhausted the amount of overtime that should be there. And then, lo and behold, the USA get a corner when the game did supposed to done. Then take a corner and it lick off one name, Corey Burke, and going at the goal. It 1-1, go to extra time, and then Haji Wright boss a goal, and it done this. You see me? We never ever get to go at penalties. You know, so but we should have, could have, would have won that game if the extra time didn't last as long as it did. So that is what I mean by them eke out a game. In addition to that, I think the last time the USA played a game in the World Cup qualifiers in Kingston, Damian Lowe headed in a goal when we were 1-1. USA walked away with a 1-1 draw in that game, but Damian Lowe had headed in a goal and it was ruled offside. But because there was no VAR in that World Cup qualifying campaign, they couldn't go back and look at the goal again, and that goal didn't stand, even though it was actually not offside. If there was VAR, that goal would have stood, and Jamaica would have walked away with a 2-1 victory over the USA in the World Cup qualifying. So that never happened. I think Tapper Whitmore was coaching at the time. You know, so that is what I mean by it seemed like the USA, every time we catch them when we're supposed to beat them, something happen and then they'll get beaten. You know what I mean? So we want to see what's going to happen this time around. We need to see back Leon Bailey in the squad. Leon Bailey has missed the last 2 windows. The first window he was going to come back. He got injured and then the second window, the injury still never did heal. People even get mad about it because them see him play for Aston Villa, and then him just never come back. So, I don't know. Eagle Republic say, I really believe that we need to give Joel Latibodiere the right back position. Joel Latibodiere is a coach's dream. He will run through a wall for any coach, modern day Shawty Malcolm. So you think he's a better right back than Lembikisa? And I mean, maybe it's not the best time to ask that question because Lembikisa is not really in the best form right now. I don't know if the coach kind of just had a plan to say in game 1, these are the players I'm going to use, and in game 2, these are the players I'm going to use, and I'm going to stick to that. And I don't know, you know what I mean? So it would be, I don't know, but do you think Latibodiere is a better right back than Lembikisa and Tavon Gray, who I think had a good window, by the way. I think he did well this window. Tavon Gray deserves another call as far as I'm concerned. So he did a good job this window. Chorus Carnif, big up yourself. Thanks for being here, man. So the US, we get USA in the Nations League. Of course, USA is now being coached by Mauricio Pochettino. If you look at their last 2 games, the USA beat Panama 2-0 in Panama. In the USA, and they also lost to Mexico 2-0 in Mexico. Can you believe that? Who would have thunk it? And they were all over the US. Mexico was all over the US. Go back and watch even the highlights for that game. Mexico was all over them. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't get a chance to breathe in that game. And they were only missing 2 of their top players. They were missing Christian Pulisic, and they're missing Brendan Aronson, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only 2 players they were missing. But outside of that, they had a full-strength squad. And they couldn't handle Mexico. And I was watching that, and I'm like, if USA had gotten that same Mexico team in the US, they probably would have beaten them. That same Mexico team in the US, they probably would have beaten them. The US don't play well away from home. And so that is why I know I have a very controversial take on this, but I oftentimes wonder if the US is genuinely the best team in CONCACAF. Would the US genuinely have all of those trophies that they have won had it not been played in the US? The amount of Gold Cup titles that they have won and the amount of Nations League titles that the US have won. There have been 3 Nation League titles. The US have won all 3 of them. And I wonder, if it was played in another country, would the US actually have all of those? I wonder. It's just a thought. I know it's a controversial take, but it's just a thought. Would they have all of those? Because they don't play well away from home. You know what I mean? So anyway, we get the US, we get them to play in Jamaica. We need to win that game because beating them in the US is going to be very difficult. Very difficult. So we're going to definitely need to beat them in Jamaica. Eagle Republic says, the only reason why Lembikisa started over Tavon Gray in the last game is because of his familiarity with the national stadium. Lembikisa is yet to settle at his new club. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, I would have still go with Tavon Gray, to be honest with you. Like, Tavon Gray had a really good game in against Nicaragua. I didn't see any reason, and he's in good form. He's in better form than Lembikisa. So I'm like, why go with Lembikisa? But you're saying it's because of his familiarity with the stadium. I mean, Tavon Gray has played at the National Stadium before too. So, maybe Lembikisa has played there more than Gray. But I think Tavon Gray has played there before too. So I would have definitely went with him. There are some things that I didn't understand. And I'm hearing that Bobby Reid was injured, but if he wasn't injured, I don't know why Bobby Reid never started. You know what I mean? Tavon Gray, Bobby Reed. I wouldn't have started. I wouldn't have used Holgate. A lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I wouldn't have used Holgate. I would have used Richard King. But it's not that Holgate caused any bad thing to, he never caused a goal. So I don't think his him playing didn't contribute to anything negative in the team. So I don't think it's either here or there where that is concerned. I think more on the offensive end, we didn't have anything going there. So, I would have liked to see Cephas and Norman Campbell together, as opposed to Cephas and Damari Gray. I would have said instead of taking off Norman Campbell, take off Damari Gray. That's the play you should have taken off and put on Cephas, because Norman Campbell was playing good. But anyway, so I have it here. USA always find a way to eke out a win against Jamaica. Will this be the case again? I hope not. And does Jamaica have the stones to knock out Pochettino's team? Do you think Jamaica can knock out a Pochettino coached USA? The Panamanian coach, after losing 2-0 to the USA in their friendly international recently, the Panamanian coach said, look, I expected to see something different from this USA team. They play the same way like they played under Greg Berhalter. I didn't see anything different. Now I don't know how much we can listen to that coming from somebody who just lost to the USA, but that is what he said. He said that he didn't see much difference between the Pochettino coach the USA and the Greg Berhalter coach USA. But the truth of the matter is that Pochettino just got the team. That was his first game. So it's, there's not really much to expect that is different. But that is what he said. And it's going to be interesting to see what this USA team will be like. Now that might play into our advantage. Both our coaches are relatively new. Jamaica's coach is new in Steve McLaren. Even he himself saying that he's still learning the players. And Pochettino is new as well. Pochettino is even more new than Steve McLaren. Could that play to our advantage? Is there any advantage to be gained from that? Playing Pochettino back to back. The first one being in Jamaica and the second one being in the United States. Slingstone, bless up yourself. Thanks for being here. Stop hyping up USA about my team. Me hype up USA. Think about it's not a hype up USA, The mighty USA, because the USA win the last 3 CONCACAF Nations League titles. So that is not hyping them up. Them win the last 3 CONCACAF Nations League titles. And in addition to that, they have the most Gold Cup titles outside of Mexico. I think Mexico must have 1 or 2 more than them, but they're up there with the amount of Gold Cup. So they're pretty much the best team in CONCACAF, or one of the best teams in CONCACAF. So it's not that may hype them up. But unfortunately, the way CONCACAF set up with most of the consequential games being played in the US, they get to walk away with the spot. Them tend to win most of the league. Them, if you think about it, the Gold Cup is played in the United States. The entire Gold Cup is played there in the United States, and the consequential end of the Nations League, meaning the semifinal and final, is played in the US. So US kind of have an advantage whenever those, in both major CONCACAF tournaments, both major CONCACAF things, they have an advantage because it's played at home, and they play well at home. Now, if it was played away from home, I think you would see a different thing. Brandon Ramsey says, win the match playing. The game against the US is playing November 14, if I'm not mistaken. November 14, and then the return fixture is, I think, a few days later, like the 19th, I think, or something like that. But I think the first game is being played on November 14th. So about a month away from now. About a month away from now, Jamaica will play the US in Kingston first. and then in the USA. And yeah, maybe maybe I don't know. I said 876 stream doing a good thing in terms of um 876 stream doing a good thing in terms of getting the crowd out to the games. They're marketing and promoting and getting butts in the seats, so to speak. So the stadium look full now. But we need, maybe they need to do a little bit more than that. Like in terms of, there was a time when the USA, they have the them two little cylindrical looking air balloons here. We clap together like blah, 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 and it makes some noise. Or sell some vuvuzela at the stadium. But we can't go play against USA, bring USA come out here and sit down in the stadium quiet. We can't bring USA to Jamaica and sit down in the stadium quiet. Because if them think they are going to affect the performance of the players, we need to cheer them on. We need to make some noise in the stadium. Is it? Because like we can't just sit down and just quiet like that. Because when we go play for USA, you think them are going to sit down and quiet? You think USA fans are going to sit down and quiet? Them are going to start cheer from before the game start. And then not stop cheer until halftime, and then start again after halftime, right till the end of the game. Be nice, them and make. Put we under pressure. We have to be able to develop a culture in Jamaica where we will put them under pressure too. We put the opponent under pressure. Because if we don't do that, we'll end up put our players under pressure. Because our players are going to feel like, say, oh, you know what I mean? When I'm there, I'm a club, my fans, them cheer for me. But when I come play for my national team, my fans, them don't cheer for me. You know what I mean? We definitely need that. Eagle Republic said, I would drop Dexter Lembekisa, Joshan Anglin, Kaim Dixon, Tyreek McGee for the USA game. That's just me. Money I cut out everybody. Well, I can see Kaim Dixon. Yeah, I don't see how he plays, but he looked lively when he came on against Honduras. Kaim Dixon did look lively. He looks like he wants to play, like he's hungry to do something. You know what I mean? And you kind of make you wonder if in the dip on the field a little bit longer, if he would have scored. But I understand though, if Bowser come back, I'm gonna see how you bring Kaim Dixon, because a lot of the places are gonna be gone. Joshua Anglin only came in because Damian Lowe went out, so I don't think he's gonna come back again. Tyreek McGee, yeah, I can understand you not pulling him back, because truth of the matter is that Tyreek McGee never, he had an okay game against Nicaragua, but I'm not sure he's at this level right now. You know what I mean? The players that he has around him, Tyreek McGee is not going to be able to handle. And then Lembekisa, that one I'm not sure about, because he has been a very solid right back for us. You know what I mean? And if you take him out, you're left with Tavon Gray, but you have to go too deep with each position, at least too deep with each position. So if you take him out, who do you bring in there? Unless you want to say, keep Tavon Gray, put Joel Latimer there as the right back. Then you bring in Isaac Hayden for CDM, and then you have, Bobby Reid and Casey Palmer in the middle. I don't know, but I wouldn't drop Dexter Lembekisa, but he needs to get some playing time at his club. He needs to fix that issue, because him not playing at his club is not gonna work. I'm not sure of nothing. What you mean by that, Wilbert Moore? Thanks for being here anyway. But what you mean? Explain what you mean by I'm not sure of nothing. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm not sure about the Lembekisa thing. No, because we don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of right backs, so we can't just throw him away. You want a game sound like a big baller? No, he's not no big baller. I that's somebody who I discuss football. That's it. I mean, I give my views them on it. Is it me not for be a big baller for give my views them on it? Is it me? But as I said, me no believe say we have enough right back for true Lembekisa right now. Is it me? Kaim Dixon, I can kind of understand that, even though him come on hungry and play, but with Bowser coming back and Mason Greenwood coming in and Liam Bailey coming back, there might not be space for him. So I can understand everybody else. Josh Anglin only came in because of Damian Lowe going out, and the other guy, Tariq McGee, he never, I don't think he's ready for the level yet, even though he had a good game against Nicaragua. But against the USA, I don't think he's gonna work. One more thing about Maggie not up to the game. You think say Maggie is going to be able to handle the USA, given the way he play against Honduras, where in the second half he was almost completely lost? You really think say him gonna be able to manage the USA? Honduras, Nicaragua, he had an okay game. I wouldn't even say he had an outstanding game. A lot of people were out there saying Maggie was the man of the match. I don't know what game them was watching, but it wasn't the man of the match for me. He had an okay game though. I wouldn't say he did a terrible job. He did a decent job. He had an okay game against against Honduras. He was lost in the game. He maybe had 2 passes or something like that. He was lost in the game. He never, he never played very well. Republic said Lambo is yet to make the game day squad selection for his club. Yeah, him just move going Switzerland. Him just go Switzerland. I don't know. I can't understand what has been happening with Lembe Kisa though, because like the guy has been playing good when he was playing for, I think, Rotterdam in the first division. You know what I mean? And I thought that would mean that he would move on, at least in the first division, or get some game time with Wolves, but then sell him to Switzerland. And I know him can't make that. I don't know what's going on with Lembe Kisa at all. Wilbur Moore said, why not? Why not what? Tariq McGee in the US game? Really that Tariq McGee can't manage the US region. I would bring him if I brought him, he would be a backup midfielder. But I wouldn't. Especially if I get Leon Bailey. If Leon Bailey, Mason Greenwood, and Isaac Hayden comes into the team, I don't see how you bring in Tariq McGee. I don't see how. But we'll see. I mean, maybe the coach, think differently. Sandra Brooks said, Lemmy Kisa is an important player. Gray isn't as good. You guys say Gray had a good game versus Nicaragua, and I don't agree. He didn't go forward, not one time. Lemby gets goals and assists. No, man. My feel say Gray had a decent game. Lemby Kisa is a good player when he's in form. The problem is Lemby Kisa is not in form right now. He didn't have a good window against in the last window when he came against who were those 2 teams that we played, Honduras and Cuba. He had that game that he played against Cuba wasn't his best game. I don't think he played against I don't remember if he played against Honduras, but he's not in form. He's not playing any games at his club in Switzerland. He's not yet, as somebody just says, he's yet to make the game day squad for his club in Switzerland. Gray, on the other hand, he had a decent game against Nicaragua, and he's actually in form at his club at New York City FC. So that is why I think that is why I think he is a better overall pick right now than Lembe Kisa. But a Lembe Kisa in form, yes, I would say I would agree with you on that. That he is one of our best right wingers. Tavon Gray versus USA. Yes, I want to say Tavon Gray. We'll see. We'll see. Because it depends on the between now and the next window comes around, how players fear in their clubs, and so on. All of them things there. Bobby picked up on that. Okay, so Bobby Reid was injured. Okay. I'm gonna say for the life of me, we don't see For the life of me, when I say Owen wouldn't play, but if him injured, obviously him can't play. Bro, another thing I saw in the last game is not only that we surrendered the midfield to Honduras, our players were not scanning before receiving the ball. Yeah, I mean, most of our possession of the ball was in the defensive third, the defensive end. Like, once it reached the midfield into the final third, Honduras was all over us. And you're right in terms of scanning, because a lot of the balls that we tried to pass, whether it was a long ball along the ground or a long ball over the top, it turned out that Honduras got in front of us before, got in front of the receiving player before he could receive the ball. You know what I mean? So you're right about that. We just never really look like we want it as much as you know, as Honduras. It doesn't never look like we want it as much. No, Wilbert said, no need to wish. Let's wait and see what the coach thinks. Fans don't pick the teams. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I just give my opinion. But as I say, I don't really think say Maggie up to the thing yet. That was my opinion. He had a decent game against Nicaragua. If I brought him, I would have him as a reserve player. But versus the USA, I'm not so sure. But we'll see though. I mean, if he comes and he gets some time again, I mean, we'll still cheer for him. You know what I mean? Again, he had a good game against Nicaragua. Honduras, he was a little bit lost. Nobody don't want to talk about that. But he seemed a little bit lost to me. So if he gets another call to come back, I will definitely root for him to do well. But him have to do well for me. I'm not gonna sit down here and say him star up the field when I not see that. Him never star up the Honduras game. Him played decent in the Nicaragua game, but he never star up the Honduras game. You see me? You probably say, Houston, we have a problem. When your goalkeeper keep getting man of the match, yeah. Game. After game, that is a great concern for me. Our outfield players need to check themselves. Yeah, true, a real thing. Like, a real thing. Like, if we constantly, if Andre Blake is constantly getting man of the match, yeah, it says that, you know, I mean, you know, we pride ourselves on having good defense, but you know, which we do. I mean, when Damian Lowe is there and Ethan Pinnock together, those are two good defensive players. Even Deshaun Bernard, who I was a little bit harsh on before. I didn't think he was going to be it, but he turned out to be a really, really good defender. But when you have Andre Blake constantly getting man of the match, it shows that something is off. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that way. You see me? Lembe is better than all the right back. Facts. Yeah, he's the best one. He's the best one. He's just kind of out of shape, out of a club and out of game time. But yeah, he's the best. The team was the last in the Honduras game except Blake. Yeah. Blake is Mr. Consistent, you know. Blake always puts in a good shift for Jamaica. You know what I mean? Come hell or high water, he always puts in a good shift for Jamaica. So, gentle folks, I'm going to leave it there now. I mean, been on for an hour and a half almost, and I don't want to go much further. But we say Jamaica gets the USA in the Nations League, and we're going to play on November 14 inside the National Stadium, and then the return fixture a few days later inside the USA. So we want everybody. I hope that return fixture is close to Jamaica, close to where I live, because I wouldn't mind going to watch that game if it's close enough to where I live. But yeah, we want to encourage people to go out there and watch the team and support the team and make some noise when you did it. Because like sitting down and just being quiet alone is not gonna be it. But yeah. Let's take a few more comments. Wilbert Moore said, and if Maggie not up to it, the whole team not. If Maggie not up to it, the whole team not up to it. So when the team has been going on without Maggie this whole time, they never be up to it. Maggie is a player that can fix a problem that we have. We have a problem in midfield. We don't have a creative midfielder. He is a creative midfielder, but for me, him not really. Me not really believe that him not being up to it means that the whole team not up to it. You see me? He needs to do more. I'm not gonna sit down here and praise him like everybody else. A lot of Jamaican fans, them can't. If Maggie do one thing right, him have a good game. Them give him 10 out of 10. Are the only player I've sat down and listened to Jamaican fans rate, and them give him a 10 out of 10 for a game. I literally heard fans give Maggie a 10 out of 10 for the Nicaragua game. And for me, I'm gonna say, yo, he had a decent games, but that's not 10 out of 10. And him are the only player on the whole Nicaragua game where them get 10 out of 10 too. I mean, I say you give him 10 out of 10 and don't give Bobby Reed 10 out of 10 and don't give Andre Blake 10 out of 10. Listen, Maggie is a good player, but I don't know that he's up to to be a good midfielder against the US. But if him get called, make a route for him. Make a route for him for the well. Make a route for him for the well. Don't watch overlook any team play with open. Don't watch overlook any team play with open. We can't hurt them. We'll see. You are struggling, bro. All right, sir. All right. The only encouragement is that the reggaeboyz is becoming a decent road team. We play good on the road for sure. Curtain Boss, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. So USA will be open even when we not play ball. It's always a tough match against us, and they will be open. So chances are there for us to hurt them. We struggle more when teams sit back trying to break them down. Okay, yeah, we always give USA a good run for their money. That's why I'm gonna say them always find a way for eke out a win, even though eking out a win don't mean them get a 1-0 win. Them is just say we could have beaten them. There are times in the game where if we did just seize the initiative, we would have beat them, and we didn't. And yeah, we always give USA a good run for the money, but can we get the job done though? That's the thing. We just want to play a good game like we did in the semifinals against the USA. We played them a good game, but we didn't finish the job. So that we need to do that. All right. And then let's see this one. No 10 out of 10. He has a touch. We need. Okay. Well, let's see what the coach does. I mean, if him get the call, I will support him. But we'll see. All right, gentle folks, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for passing through. Thank you for being here anyway. Or please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, take care of yourself. Walk good. I'm out.